Hey, this is JK Pens coming at you with another video. This is a short video, not a full review, but I just want to talk to you a little bit about this Pelikan M1005 Stresemann, also known as the Anthracite. This is the gray stripe version of the M1005. And what I wanted to do is just, if you don't have a 1005 or 1000 and you're contemplating the purchase, and, if you're like me, you don't really have a lot of chance to try things out in person, I just want to give you some sense of what the pen is like, compare it to some pens in size, and tell you a little bit about the unique writing experience that this pen offers. In terms of size, so here's the 1000, and here is an 800 series Pelikan. In the video, it's a little hard to tell how different they are, but this one is quite a bit more slender, and it's just a tad shorter. It's a little lighter, but I don't think either of the, they're both pens with some gravitas, but neither pen is super heavy. Another pen you might be familiar with if you're into Italian pens is this Visconti Homo Sapiens, so very much in a similar size class as the 1005, noticeably heavier. American pens, this is an Edison Collier. Again, same kind of oversized pen class. So there's a couple pens to give you a sense of what it's like. So the difference between the 805 and the 1005, it is mostly all about size. The finishes, they sometimes come in the same finish. So I used to have a Stresemann version of this. The design is overall the same. Like there's no big differences other than it's just bigger. However, in addition to the pen being bigger, I think one thing that folks like about these pens is that the nib is bigger. These are both 18 karat gold nibs, and one of these is not like the other. That is just a big honking nib. The 800 nib is similar to a kind of standard number 6 size nib. So here's the Collier with a Jowo nib, very much in the same ballpark. The M1005, this nib is basically a number 8 nib, and it is in the same size class as the Bach number 8. So this is the Bach number 8 titanium nib, which is also a big honking nib, actually maybe a little wider, but similar in size to the Stresemann nib. So big nibs. So that's the first thing to note. The other thing to note is that the feed shape, the feed design is the same. It's the same thing, but it is a big chunky feed because this is a big chunky nib, and they didn't do anything to like scale it down. So like to me, this feed already looks pretty big to someone who's used to Jowo style feeds, which don't protrude as much, as you can see there. There we go. They don't protrude as much. And then this feed is just, it's a whopper. And honestly, these collector fins, I don't know what you gain from having them be that gigantic. And it's worth noting that the Jowo, sorry, the Bach, did I say Jowo or Bach? The Bach number 8, if I said Jowo, I apologize. The Bach number 8 is, has actually a very slender feed. It has collector fins. It's possibly ebonite. Yeah, I think it's ebonite. Or maybe that's just the ink I'm smelling, I'm not sure. But anyways, so that's just a thing to know. It's visual. It doesn't impede the writing performance. And then that was the last thing I want to talk about. So the writing experience with this pen, I was trying to think of an apt analogy, and I guess like the 800, actually I'm going to just show you on my finger, if I can get it to focus here. Let's put this finger behind that finger so the camera has something to focus on. Like, it moves. I don't know if you can see that. It's moving a little bit. This thing is like doink, doink. And one consequence of that is this one, like when you write, focus please, and nib tine, spread a tiny amount. This one, hello. It's almost like a flex nib. However, one of the things I've been warned is that using it like a flex nib will destroy it because this is 18 karat gold, not spring steel, and it will eventually get brittle and wear out. So what's the writing experience like? So I'll use you know, this is a German pen, so this is German analogy. So this is like writing with, you know, this is like the pen equivalent of writing in like a nice Beamer, right? You know, kind of a firm suspension with a little bit of give. This is like a big old Mercedes. Like this is just like if this was going over bumps, it would just go boom, boom. It would absorb those bumps. I shouldn't be flexing it, but I don't do that a lot. You know, it just, I don't know, it just has so much balance and give. Like I feel like you could write across something really rough and you'd hardly know it. It's like having big old cushy shock absorbers. The other thing is that this is a fine and this is a medium, and the tip sizes are different. Focus, please. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but the fine is in fact smaller. However, because this thing spreads, the tine spreads so easily, like just the slightest amount of pressure, it basically writes almost like next size up. So here I am, this is a Lamy agate, you know, reasonably wet ink in a very wet pen. And here I'm applying no pressure, just enough. And I would barely call that a fine on any planet. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Yeah, so, I mean, here's the Jovo fine. One of these is a lot thinner, I think you can see. And then this is the 800 series nib medium. So it's wider, but I'm also applying no pressure. So just something to keep in mind. If you want to get one of these and you really want to write fine with it, you might need the extra fine. I don't usually have extra fine nibs, but, and I'm very happy with the fine. I mean, I like medium nibs, and for me, this is just perfect. It's juicy and it's fun to write with. So that's some stuff to know about the Pelikan M1005. Hope you found this useful. Thanks.